Alright, so part two to the YouTube video is what ended up happening with those two packages is I went in there and the boss wasn't there and they had to call the boss, which happens a lot. So while he was calling the boss, I took out the two invoices, I brought him out, and then what he wanted to do was write two separate checks for that. And in that same check area that you have, you just hand enter each individual number. So at the end of the day, you have turn in for two checks if that's the only two checks that you have. But so they didn't have the boss. I called, and then once the check was there, the guy, he didn't really know how to write checks, I guess. And so I ended up writing the check. And so it was already signed and everything. The boss already had pre-signed checks, and so I ended up filling out the amounts and writing down the invoice number and doing everything that the boss should have been doing. So that happens, and now that I think about it, a lot of that stuff happens, especially with money orders for some families that are not from around here originally, and they don't really speak any English, and so a lot of times they give me the money orders and I just fill it out for them. Even with some customers, sometimes I know some drivers, I've never done it, but just go back behind, whip out the checkbook and start writing, and then give it to the boss, and the boss just signs it. So I don't suggest doing that, but if you and your customers have a really close relationship, go ahead and do it. So that's how you take care of everything, and that's it. All right, thanks. Drive safe.